Yes, of course. Yes, of course. I'm happy na
Justice Undersecretary Deo Marco confirmed that two suspects in the Jacqueline and Marijoy Chiong rape slay case have surrendered.
On July 16, 1997, the bustling streets of Cebu City, Philippines, were darkened by shadows cast by the blazing sun. On this fateful day, the Chiong family's life was permanently altered, and a frightening drama was set in motion that would capture a nation. A simple shopping trip to the Ayala Center Cebu Mall turned into a day of sisterly bonding, laughter, and dreams for Marijoy and Jacqueline Chiong. But when the sun fell below the horizon, the worst kind of darkness came upon their lives. This is the horrifying story of the Chiong murder case, shrouded in secrecy and controversy, and attracting international attention. Francisco Juan Paco Larrañaga, a man with mixed Filipino and Spanish citizenship, is at the center of this narrative, and his tragic journey through the merciless Philippine legal system is revealed in detail. Welcome to Relo Max Crime, and in this cold-blooded case, we delve into the background of the Chiong murder case, illuminating the circumstances that led up to the crime, the chaotic investigation that followed, the trial that captivated a nation, the controversial turns the case took, and the lingering effects that continue to haunt the Philippines to this day. Picture the bustling Ayala Center Cebu Mall on a typical day. It was here that Marijoy and Jacqueline, like many other ordinary people, walked in the warmth of the sun, enjoying the delights of the day. However, their world was soon shattered when a group of men abducted them as they left the mall that sunny July day. What followed was a harrowing ordeal of rape, abuse, and brutal murder, leaving the country in a state of shock and demanding justice. Their lifeless bodies were later found in a gully in Carcar City, bearing the hallmarks of a heinous killing. The case has since become an infamous Philippine true crime saga, which, even after decades, continues to elicit strong emotions, spark debate, and demand answers. As a whole will be shaken by this heinous atrocity, demanding answers and retribution. After the bodies of the Chiong sisters were discovered, an extensive search was launched to apprehend and punish their killers.
Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara says the third freed convict, Jusman Aznar, is expected to surrender next week.
The Philippine police acted swiftly, capturing multiple individuals, including the alleged mastermind, Paco Larrañaga. However, the investigation soon became marred by allegations of misconduct, errors, and controversy. Disturbing accounts of police abuse and coercion to extract confessions from suspects began to emerge, casting doubt on the integrity of the criminal justice system and casting a long shadow over the case. The murder trial of the Chiong sisters started in 1999, igniting a courtroom spectacle that captivated the entire nation. The prosecution relied heavily on hearsay and witness testimonies, the credibility of which would later be called into question. Led by renowned defense attorney Jose Marie Sean, the defense team vehemently argued that Larrañaga was not present in Cebu at the time of the crime. The authorities didn't spend any time rounding up the culprits because the severity of the act called for immediate retribution. Thus began a highly publicized and contentious trial in the Philippine legal system. An important witness in the case was co-defendant Davidson Valiente Rusha, who testified against Lara Agay in exchange for complete immunity. The prosecution heavily relied on Rusha's testimony as the cornerstone of their case. However, Larrañaga's defense attorney was given only 30 minutes to cross-examine Rusha, despite his extensive and multi-day testimony. Evidence presented during the trial revealed that Rusha had lied about his past criminal activities, including burglary and forgery. He is a convicted felon and a member of a gang who has served multiple prison sentences in the United States for separate crimes. 10 months after the fact, he showed up as a state witness and stated he was with Larrañaga in Ayala Center, Cebu, on the evening of July 16. The prosecution presented a case based on hearsay, witness testimony, and a narrative that painted the defendants in a murderous light for kidnapping and killing the Chiong sisters. They claimed the young women were terrified and in pain throughout their final moments at the hands of their abductors. Laranyaga and 6 other defendants kidnapped, raped, and hurled one of the Chiong sisters into a ravine on July 16, 1997, in Cebu, Philippines. No one ever tracked down the missing sibling. On the other hand, Laranyaga and his defense team insisted they were innocent and that he had nothing to do with the abductions. Evidence from 45 witnesses, including Laranyaga's professors and classmates, showing he was in Quezon City at the time of the crime, was thrown out by the trial court. The trial court, however, deemed these witnesses to be friends of the accused and therefore excluded their testimony. Legal counsel for Laranyaga testified that their client had been at a party at the ER&R restaurant in Quezon City on the night in question and had returned home at around 2:45 a.m. Laranyaga was also spotted between the hours of 8 and 11:30 at school on both July 16 and 17, 1997. He took his second set of midterms on July 17, and he did not board any flights on July 16, 1997, or be on any charter aircraft that landed or departed from Cebu. Laranyaga's conviction was maintained beyond a shadow of a doubt by the Supreme Court despite these objections. They claimed there wasn't enough proof and that key witnesses couldn't be trusted. Paco Laranyaga, the defense said, was actually a case of mistaken identity. As the trial went on, concerns were raised about its legitimacy and fairness. The convictions were questioned due to allegations of irregularities, press statements, and questionable evidence management. Some in the public called for the accused's execution, while others loudly protested what they saw as a miscarriage of justice. Francisco Juan Paco Laranyaga and his co-defendant were found guilty of murder on February 3, 2004, and given the death penalty. The verdict rocked the country to its core. But that wasn't the final chapter. Laranyaga had his death sentence commuted to life in prison after the Philippines abolished the death penalty in June 2006. His sentence was eventually moved to Spain, where he holds dual citizenship in October 2009. The Chiong sisters' whereabouts are still a mystery. The case has not been resolved, and questions and disagreements persist. Justice, according to some, has been done, while others insist it has yet to be found. The debate over the Chiong murder case exemplifies the complexities of criminal justice and the difficulties of achieving absolute justice in a system that is far from perfect. The trial, however, immediately became a hotbed of debate.
Chiong earlier called the 3 convicts' early release as an injustice. The Chiong sisters were raped and killed in 1997.
Concerns about possible violations of witnesses' rights, evidentiary integrity, and procedural fairness loomed large after the prosecution's most important witness, Davidson Russia, recanted his evidence, saying police coercion led him to make false allegations. The case collapsed. These disturbing details raise serious questions about the legitimacy of the trial. In the midst of the upheaval, the verdict was read on February 3, 2004. Laranyaga and 6 others were found guilty of murdering the Chiong sisters and given the death penalty by lethal injection. Human rights groups around the world immediately began sounding the alarm over the judgment, citing numerous obvious flaws in the process. When the capital penalty was banned in the Philippines, in June 2006, the Chiong murder case took a dramatic turn. Many people on death row had their sentences reduced or eliminated as a result of this new law, including Paco Laranyaga. The case's underlying defects were brought to light, sparking questions about the impartiality and consistency of the Philippine justice system. Paco Laranyaga was sent to Spain in October 2009 to serve out his life sentence in an effort to ease diplomatic tensions between Spain and the Philippines. The Spanish government had raised strong objections to the way the matter was being handled, claiming that Laranyaga's rights had been infringed. The Chiong murder case left permanent scars in the Philippines, leading to introspection about the country's criminal justice system. In high-profile cases, it revealed problems with police misconduct, witness manipulation, and the use of circumstantial evidence. More systemic issues of corruption and inefficiency in the Philippine judicial system were also exposed by the uproar over this case. The case's international significance extended far beyond its immediate ramifications for a single country. Public outcry following the Chiong case and worries about incorrect convictions influenced the Philippines' decision to abolish the death penalty. This policy change reflected the widespread rejection of the death penalty around the world. Marijoy and Jacqueline Chiong, sisters, have been cruelly missing for years. The horrible crime that took place in Cebu in 1997 is still fresh in the minds of Filipinos, and their memories serve as a heartbreaking reminder of what happened. Unresolved questions about who committed the crime and the inability to bring closure to the Chiong family highlight the ongoing need for justice and the urgency of preventing a tragedy of this magnitude from happening again. A highly flawed judicial system, false accusations of wrongdoing, and improper police activity have all plagued the murky Chiong murder case in Philippine law. Francisco Juan Paco Loranyaga and 6 others were convicted of a horrific crime that has prompted serious concerns about the credibility of witness testimony, the use of circumstantial evidence, and the treatment of suspects while they are in detention. The Chiong murder case is a haunting chapter in the history of the Philippines, a tale of tragedy, controversy, and unanswered questions. It reminds us of the fragility of justice, the complexities of our legal system, and the need for reform. As we reflect on this dark period, let it serve as a reminder that the pursuit of truth and justice must always be unwavering, and that we must strive for a system that is fair, transparent, and accountable. The memory of Marijoy and Jacqueline Chiong lives on, urging us to ensure that such a devastating tragedy never happens again.